am going to now introduce the last speaker and closing speaker. President Charumbira had to rush to the Senate and asked me to hand over for the closing to the esteemed Julia Duncan-Cassel, former Minister of Gender and Social Protection, working with President Sirleaf closely, and the very special envoy on Ebola. And I remember the times that we worked together so hard, Julia, when we were fighting that other pandemic. And you did so well. And many of us remember you for bringing the international community on board and taking responsibility together for the fight against that pandemic, from which we learned so much about the importance of digital healthcare, data in resolving health pandemics, but also the lack of data ownership and how the data disappeared. It's a great honor, great honor. You've been listening very carefully. It was very early in Liberia. Thank you for being here. Thank you for closing this conference for us. Before I hand over to you, I would like to thank everybody for the questions and comments. There was a great one for Dr. Francesca, who was receiving, I can't find it now, but I will send it to you, Dr. Francesca. It was great praise and asking from Zambia when you were going to come to Zambia. And I think the answer is that you already are in Zambia. So we'll make sure to make those connections. And with that, from my side, I'm handing over to Julia. I would like to thank everyone in the audience. It has been an amazing afternoon. I would like to thank all of the speakers, and I would like to thank President Charumbira for presiding over this session. And with that, I hand over to you, Julia, to close this seminar.
Thank you, Professor. And let me say thanks to all of the participants. But before I read the statement, I listened, been on here for almost 3 hours, and I'm coming from the gender lens. What I listened and took away from all of the speakers, they talk about leadership, peace building, ownership, networking, responsibility, climate change. Those are all important to the inequality on our continent. But I want to say that COVID has had a disproportionate impact on the women and young people of Africa. It rolled back the gains that we have made, coming from Ebola to COVID. So it's important that scientists in Africa can show the world what they can do if Africa problem is solved by African. This conference has been good. Again, I say thanks to all. And let me read this statement that's going to be presented. This is the framework of the AU and EU collaboration on health and science. And it reads, the conference, which was opened by the Honorable Acting President of the Pan-African Parliament, met on the 17th of February, 2022, at the occasion of the AU-EU Summit held in Brussels from the 17th to the 18th of February 2022. The conference welcomed the pledges for a renewed spirit in AU-EU collaboration, and especially the collaboration between the people of Africa and Europe. The people of our two continents are bound together by geographic, by history, and by our joint interest into a sustainable and peaceful future. The conference noted that the multiple crises affecting the two continents and our world at large, climate change, health, sustainable livelihood, education, energy, multiple crises are abrogating each other. The pandemic has aggravated the inequality to an extent that it is no longer sustainable. Therefore, a new vision of sustainable leadership is required that embraces all actors to work together towards the achievement of the Millennium Development Goals. Public and private sectors, faith-based organizations, civil societies, we need a word which is not governed by collective helplessness, but which draw on the strength that each and everyone can bring. Together, we can make this happen. Science has a special role to play in the renewal of Africa, European cooperation, and seeing to the importance of the digital innovation in all sectors of life. We conclude that the AU and the EU have much to share in a common interest to increase security, ownership of personal data and the internet, reduce conflict, enhance resilience, and set our economy cooperation on a sustainable foundation. We therefore ask on localization of manufacturing and procurement of vaccine. This is very important. Ambitious initiatives to support localization of production of vaccines initiatives that are aligned with the plans prepared by the AU and which will strengthen the development and manufacturing of vaccines production, and hence go further than focusing on the final stages of filling and packaging. The initiative must go beyond voluntary licensing agreement, which is a special concern as so far those have been very, very scarce. Africa and the European collaboration to ensure that the producers on the African continent will be protected from potential partnering in friendly claims which they produce when they produce the vaccines, while waiver on IP rights is still on hold, and to emphasize the need for an agreement between the EU and Africa on IPD rights. On science preparedness, scientific collaboration between Africa and Europe should be embedded within the wider scientific capacity building agenda. A policy concern to try to improve on global level is high to reconsider the relationship between public and private research and development, R&D. The policy issue is to try to resolve whether government would negotiate between one signing consultative process, purchase and contracts, and to avoid the taxpayers' subsidies are transferred and investors in pharmaceutical companies. I'm reading because I'm reading from a smaller device. Consider the internet and other stuff here. Knowledge and technologies are crucial to COVID-19 vaccine development and productions, were created with the contributions of government. Patents filed by pharmaceutical companies do not protect the public interest arising from such earlier research. This knowledge must be treated as a public good. On health professionals, the African CDC has developed a framework for public health and workforce development, and this needs strong support by Europe. While some support from Europe is available, but more is needed, and master's programs for and in Africa are needed. That includes a research component, strengthening learning that fosters skills and empowerment of Africa learners, using internet and hybrid forms of learning, and preparing the youth for the new digital era. On data, the planning and launch of an African health data space partnership with the European data space could be a game changer. It is critical that the foundation of digital data collaboration is fully complemented with the framework of fundable, accessible, while protecting privacy of personal data. We learned that from Ebola. Interoperable, reusable, which is fair, data and the General Data Protection Regulations, GDPR. Localization of data in local repositories, enhancing the use of digital health data at point of care must be encouraged as the first objectives of digital health data collection, while data visiting of federal data in local repositories can ensure that the African continent is not left out of the new solution of A1-based health tools. On partnership between the AU and the EU, the partnership should be real partnership of equal-based trust and respect for Africa sovereignty. Africa and Europe must work together on the challenges of labor, market needs, security, and safety of migrants, the full protection of rights of refugees and migrants under international law, and to fight organized crime that feeds on the vulnerabilities of refugees and migrants. To foster peace, culture, diversity, and languages that are centered to the spirit of our people, and to enhance collaboration through science and culture exchanges based on respect for the pride we hold on our heritage. Africa and Europe have so much to offer each other. Let's face the extraordinary challenges together as two continents bound together and belonging together, and face the future of our people with hope and leadership. This is the statement from this conference. I thank you all for your participation. I thank our professor who has always been there when it comes to Africa. And I thank all of the speakers who participated in this 3-hour-long deliberation. I thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Julia, and thank you everyone for attending. Thank you to the speakers. Big thank you to all of you for very interesting presentations, and thank you to President Charumbira for overseeing this conference. And with this, I ask the people to close this conference, thanking also everybody behind the conference for helping and organizing. Thank you, and have a very, very good afternoon, everybody, and hope to see you again. Bye for now.